It started with a game.
If everyone would like just bag the noise and play like we could do this.
Sonny, name one thing that's gotten better in the last 10 years.
Shall we play a game?
Video games.
All right, I acknowledge that.
Totally awesome video game!
I want to talk about writing partnerships and about ADHD, how they sort of tie in together. Let me first talk about partnerships. I have been very lucky to be involved really in two writing partnerships. The first one has been going on a long time, and it started in the early 2000s when one of my best friends and co-writers, Matthew Enton, joined High Voltage Software, game studio. It's still there in the burbs of Chicago. And, I was maybe a year or two ahead of him there at the studio. But he joined, and we started working together on a project, Leisure Suit Larry Magna Cum Laude, a game that needed a lot of writing. And then we both started, we finished that game and started working on a sequel that never came to be released. But what we discovered was, maybe after an initial rocky start, we really liked working together. We had worked on Leisure Suit Larry Magna Cum Laude, collaborating on some things, but then also just each of us writing kind of a little bit, stuff in a vacuum. And, we're 7 years apart. Neither of us very mature. I mean, he was 7 years younger than me. I don't know that especially at that time, I was any more mature than he was, to my detriment. But we just, neither one of us had a lot of experience at collaborating at writing at all, much less collaborating. But after a while of working together, sitting next to each other, making each other laugh, and we realized when we rolled into the sequel that it was a lot more fun and a lot more productive to work together. So instead of each having us go and write our own scene separate from each other, we would do sort of an outline for a scene together, riffing off each other, making each other laugh, getting kind of a skeleton of a scene on paper. And then one of us would just go and do the dialogue, right? The final, final pass, so to speak. Not only was this a lot of fun, but we got things done faster and more efficiently. In fact, I would do a little bit of reading not long ago about writing partnerships, and it turns out that it's widely thought by lots of people that you can get, you can make more progress together faster. So when you're collaborating with each other, maybe your second draft is more like your sixth draft or fifth draft or something, and your fourth or fifth draft is, like much more like your 10th draft. Whatever, you get my point. I was really interested to read that because that was my experience when I look back on it with Matt. And when we both, we were both laid off from the studio. The studio the industry was going through a lot of changes and technological changes, and creatively, the direction that we took the sequel in was not well received by new people at the publisher. So that was on me mostly. But we got laid off, and Matt had said, "Hey, do you want to write some screenplays together?" So I remember, I drive down to his drafty apartment in Chicago. I was living in the burbs. He's living in Chicago. I drive to his cold apartment. I'd park somewhere, walk in the cold. We'd sit up there and we'd collaborate, and it was fun. I had fun. And since then, Matt and I have worked together on a lot of video games. We don't always work together, of course. But we both spent a lot of time as freelancers. We work together in the same game. Sometimes I'll bring him onto a project if I can, and sometimes he'll bring me onto a project. And then we'll do just our own stuff together. In fact, pardon me. You may have seen me mention this in another video, but we wrote a comic book together called From Planet Wrestletopia. and miniseries. This is a collected volume that you can find on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and iBooks, and it was great. It was a lot of fun. So I've been thinking more about how we started as a partnership, because lately I've also been having a lot of fun with my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law decided to make a game based on the Pathfinder rule system, a role-playing game, pen and paper, tabletop, whatever, role-playing game. And it's really interesting that it's followed sort of the same trajectory. You know, it's hard to figure out how to work with somebody at first, and then even if you know them really well, just personally, and then you establish a rhythm. Dog, Tilly, stop. Sorry, Tilly. What did we talk? What did we say? Please stop licking yourself. Come here. Good girl. You just figure out a rhythm of how to give each other feedback, be frank and honest, and not be hurtful to one another, and you figure it out, and before too long you're running like a well-oiled machine. That's been my experience. I know other partnerships, I know it can be real contentious and people like that conflict, but I don't mean not so much, I guess. What the heck does that have to do with ADHD? Well, I have ADHD, if you couldn't tell. I've been formally diagnosed, but I've known for a long time. I have at various times taken medicine through my doctor. My kids have it. And what I know, just for me, I can speak for myself, but what I know is, I've worked on a lot of games and other projects. And because I have clients, and because those clients have expectations, and because those clients have deadlines, that's really enough for me to avoid major procrastination, that kind of thing. I can get to work and I can focus and I can concentrate because I have people, depending on me to do the work. But when I'm doing my own stuff, just me, it's really not that way. I'm perhaps, like you, very prone to procrastinating, or maybe a little anxious about starting. What's the point? But having a partner is great for that. I mean, Matt and I finished this book. We basically financed all the art. We paid all the artists. We self-publish it. No one asked us to make this. People still, are undecided about it. But I think it turned out great. It really did. Because it's like having a partner for the gym. A lot of people just, it's hard to get motivated to work out. So you have a gym buddy. And your gym buddy calls and texts and says, hey, let's go, gym time. And you're like, I don't know. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll work out extra hard tomorrow. And like, no, it's a leg day. Come on, let's go. And drag you to the gym. And when you're done, you feel great. You feel like you accomplished something. You had a good workout. And sometimes you do the same for your gym buddy when they're not feeling motivated. So the writing partnership has that other benefit. Not only can you do some great work, especially with comedy, when it's you can riff off each other, bounce jokes off each other and concepts, but you can get more done faster, and it'll keep you on track. If you don't have an editor, a client, creative director, or something to sort of light that fire underneath you, or give you that gentle pressure to complete your tasks, well, just having a writing partner can do wonders for you to make sure you complete your own personal projects. Okay, I hope that was helpful. I don't know how much, I don't know how many more of these videos that I'm going to make, but I really did want to make this one. And maybe you find it useful. But anyway, that's all I got for today. I just got back from Las Vegas, and I still I still feel a little bit like a piece of beef jerky, just very dehydrated and tired and rough, feeling rough. All right, I'm gonna sign off. Go do some writing. Go work on your interactive portfolio. Go kick some ass. Okay.